JFK, Ronald Reagan, and now Donald Trump. The seemingly orchestrated campaign of national collapse our ruling elite is carrying out took a very dark turn over the weekend as yet another alleged lone wolf tried to take out yet another anti-establishment president. Many of us are old enough to remember 4 years ago when Joe Biden was promised as the return to normalcy after Trump. Be calm after the storm. The adults are back in charge, we were told. Instead, of course, we got double-digit inflation, bank failures exceeding 2008, a national debt barreling towards $35 trillion, mass legalization of street crime that is depopulating our greatest cities, all replaced by the wholesale importation of 10 million, perhaps 20 million illegal immigrants. And to top it all off, an obsessive determination to gin up World War III, nukes and all. If that is adults in charge, perhaps we need new adults. As Glenn Reynolds put it, the Biden administration has been so crazy that it's made Trump look like the return to normalcy candidate. We've actually been here before, starting the 1960s. After JFK was replaced, the CIA approved that Lyndon B. Johnson embarked on the Great Reset 1.0, then called the so-called Great Society. That was Washington's trillion-dollar project to remake America into a left-wing utopia. Of course, it delivered what socialism always delivers, the precise opposite of what was promised. So inflation soared, incomes collapsed, unemployment hit double digits for years on end. Great Society crime reforms collapsed our greatest cities into crime and disorder. Great Society welfare gutted the traditional family, especially urban families. Great Society education reforms turned public schools into propaganda factories, turning out illiterate voters. The media naturally did everything they could to hide the collapse, but the left had swung the pendulum too far, too fast, and voters had had it enough. They rejected the elite-approved Jimmy Carter, handing the anti-establishment Ronald Reagan 44 states, one of the more lopsided victories in American history. That's despite a savage campaign against Ronald Reagan by the media that we would not see again until Donald J. Trump. Then just 2 months into office, that anti-Reagan media campaign bore fruit as an obsessive fan tried to assassinate Reagan to impress a famous actress. As with the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, intelligence failures, particularly by the FBI, were egregious enough to invite questions as to whether the deep state had effectively greenlighted the assassination. Fortunately, Reagan recovered and went on to win 49 states, which was the biggest landslide since 1936. That is a number that Biden's handlers will be very aware of in the coming months. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. It's almost eerie the degree to which we are replaying the 1970s. We're already living the long 1970s stagflation, driven by federal spending on useless wars, welfare for illegals, whilst middle-class Americans line up for food banks and our veterans are turned out on the street. Our cities are once again collapsing. The media is once again driving division. Washington is once again flirting with World War III, while our manufacturing base flees overseas. In short, the radicals are back in charge, and they're actually doubling down this time from arresting the opposition to yet another perfectly timed lone wolf. The stakes just went up, and at this point, it is Trump or the abyss. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.